Welcome, everyone. I have Eric here with me. He's going to be giving us a little presentation on how he uses LingQ, especially through the Android mobile app. So I think it's going to be really useful for those of you who are Android users, but there are so many ways to use LingQ in general. There are so many different things that you can do with the application. So that's why we have these calls, so that you can get familiarized with new ways to use this platform. I always tell people it's a choose your own journey tool. So a lot you can do. You don't have to use all the features of LingQ, but it's nice to know that they exist and what you can do with them. So just a reminder about these calls, we're all doing a 90-day challenge. We are about a little over a month into the 90-day challenge that started on September 1st. So we're all working towards particular language learning goals. Everyone's goals are different. Last week we did a live stream with Steve, and his goals are to be able to comprehend the Al Jazeera podcasts in Arabic. I'm learning French. I'm a beginner in French, and I want to be able to improve my reading and speaking skills in French. So it's not too late to join a challenge if you haven't done so yet. And we have a very, very high engagement from all of you guys. So that tells us that you guys are working really hard towards your goals in whatever language you're studying. So awesome work. Keep it up. We're going to keep doing these calls for you guys every week so that you can ask us questions, ask each other questions, and connect with one another too. Because language learning can be a challenging journey. So with that said, we're going to let Eric here give us his presentation. And again, please put any questions that you have in the chat. I'm going to be monitoring that, and we'll get a chance to go over those after breakout rooms. So Eric, you want to go ahead and show us some stuff that you do on LingQ?
Yeah, sure, Shelby. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining today. So let me first share my screen. Okay, I'm going to share my Android screen. And just so everyone knows, I'm using an app to share my Android screen. So it's not actually my phone. It's an emulator. But regardless, it's still should be okay. So let me go and share that. Okay, so let's go to my link. And I hope everyone can see my screen. Mm-hmm. So this is the Android app. For those who don't know, LingQ is available for both Android and iOS. I have the Android version. And this is my library. I'm studying Japanese now, and have been for a couple of years on LingQ. And as you can see here, I can scroll down, and this shows the lessons that I have been using on LingQ. And you can see it ranges from podcasts to YouTube videos. Here is, I don't think you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a lesson report. So I talk to my tutors a few times a week, and they send me reports back. And these reports I can import into LingQ, and they become lessons. So I get a lot of content here. You can see here, this is an anime, and this is a music video, tons of stuff. Now let me go back to the top here. Okay. So I want to quickly show you how to import content on your Android device. You can do this on iOS as well. However, the buttons are going to be a little different. I don't have an iOS, so I'm just going to show you the Android right now. So let's say I am on YouTube and I found a Japanese YouTube video that I want to import into LingQ. This is what I will do. So on my browser, I'm going to open the YouTube video. The first thing I'm going to make sure is that the YouTube video has closed captions. And let me play this for you. So you can see at the bottom there, closed captions are on. If you want to check if the channel has closed captioning, you can click the settings button and you can see here captions. And Japanese, I'm just gonna click Japanese. And I'm gonna play this again. And you can see at the bottom there. So let's say I wanna put this into Link. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna go to the share button. And then I'm gonna go to link there, right there. All right, and then it's pretty straightforward. All I do, select my language, select my course. I create these courses beforehand, so I have a lot, as you can see. I'm just gonna leave it as default for now. And then I click import, and that will turn into a lesson on Link. I've already imported this lesson, so let me show you what that looks like. So I just got to quickly find it here. Sorry, one sec here. Here it is. Okay, so this is the video that I just showed you. And now it's in my Link account. And it pulled the transcripts, the closed captions into Link. So this is super convenient when let's say I'm commuting to work or going outside. I can do two things. I can go through this lesson as a reader and go through page by page. I can also just hit the play button down here. And it plays the audio. So it's extremely convenient to do studying on the go with a Link on your mobile app. And I'm going to quickly show you a couple other things. If I click sentence mode, which is this button here, and on iOS you have you have the same functionality. Click this. Sentence mode. Sentence mode is great because it's a little bit easier to follow, especially if you're a beginner. You can translate the sentence. This is a Google translation. Also, what's really cool about this feature when you're using sentence mode is you can press the mic speaker icon. And it plays the sentence audio. So it's really cool. It makes timestamps actually. So that's how you import content into Link from YouTube on your mobile device. And I'm gonna quickly show you how to import other pages as well. So let me quickly show you this here. Okay, here's an article on my Android. It's in Japanese. All I have to do is click these three these buttons here, these three little dots. Once again, share. And let me just move this. I hit import as lesson, and I follow the same process as I did before. Just click import, and it will appear on my Link account as well. And it will look something like this. And that's it. That's all you have to do for importing on your mobile device. And one more thing I wanted to show you on the Android device. Because Android is phones are extremely portable, you can take them wherever you go. Sometimes you don't want to be reading, you want to just be listening. What you can do is you can create playlists. So just imagine how you have music on your iPhone or Android and you have playlists. You can do the same with lessons on Link. So if I have a lesson with audio, I can just click these three dots here. And you can see here, remove from playlist. So this is already on my playlist. But if it wasn't, I can just click add to playlist. All right. And I can only do this with lessons that have audio. So add to playlist. And then I just go here to this little music icon. And there's my playlist. And I can just press play. For example, I could just press play here. And leave that going. And then it can autoplay, loop. It can go to the next track. Very helpful. This is good because if I'm walking, I can just leave this on and I'm going through all my lessons. I don't have to touch anything else. that is what I wanted to show you on the mobile device, and how to import. That it's a very convenient way to use the Link app, I think. I know some people were wondering how to import on mobile, and yes, you can. And now I want to quickly go over, for the next 5 minutes, one more thing I wanted to show everyone. So let me minimize this. Okay, so one last thing I wanted to show people. I usually import podcasts. However, there's an issue with podcasts because sometimes the audio is on one page and the transcript is on another page. So that's kind of a problem, right? So I'm going to show you how you can combine the two together. This is what I do in this instance. Okay, so let's say I want this. This is a Japanese podcast, right? But she doesn't put the podcast transcripts on YouTube.
Eric, sorry, we're still looking at your Android screen.
Oh, let me, okay, let me exit this. One sec. I'm just gonna close that then. Okay, I'm gonna share my other screen. Okay, and now I'm assuming you can see my YouTube screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so just to quickly go over, if you have audio in one place and a transcript in another place, this is what you can do. So in this case, she puts the audio on YouTube and she puts the transcript on her website. So it's kind of annoying. If you're trying to figure out how to import it, I can show you how to do that right now really quickly. First thing I do, I import the audio from YouTube. So I'm just going to do that now. And I'm going to choose the course here. All right, import, okay. This takes a little bit longer because it's a video. Usually doesn't take this long, but I think just my internet's a little slow today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is not the normal import speed, I would say, but I think it's probably because you're streaming Zoom at the same time.
Yeah, so, okay, let's just pretend I imported this. So I would just do that. And then it goes into my Link account. And it will look like this. Let me open her lessons here. So it would be in my, it would import into my Link account on desktop. And I said before that the transcripts, so this is the import right here. However, because the transcripts are on another page, I would need to put those into the lesson. And the reason why is because this particular podcaster doesn't add her transcripts to the YouTube channel. So these are auto-generated. So these aren't all correct. So I want this into my lesson. So after I import, what I do, this is a very useful tool. I just go to edit lesson. Let me just move this here. Edit lesson. And you can only do this on desktop right now. You can only edit a lesson on desktop. And then this would be the auto-generated transcript. So I want to put this in. So all I do is I just copy this whole thing and I would paste it here. I'm not going to do it for this one because it's already done, but I would paste it here. And then I would just go down, save and open. And there you go. So this is just to show you how you can put two pieces of content together. If you have audio and a transcript, in 2 different places. So it's a kind of a useful tool. And before I leave you, before I end this, I want to quickly show you if it's the opposite. Like say you import the text first, but you need the audio. You add the audio after. All you do is upload audio file. So you would need the MP3 and you add the audio file here. So this is how you can add audio files to any lesson that you have on LingQ. I think that's it. I'm going to stop my, turn this off right now and stop my screen. So that's a quick rundown of how you can import in the Android device and how you can edit a lesson and add text or audio to any lesson. That's it.
Thank you, Eric. That was great. I think that you covered a decent amount of features and functionality. And we often get several questions related to importing. And we know that sometimes importing has had a couple issues. We're working on smoothing those out. And as you can see, for the most part, it works as it's supposed to, but every once in a while you get like a failed import and you have to manually adjust it. So, and just in general, I think some people don't know that you can import from mobile, and it's a very, very useful tool. I like importing from YouTube is by far my favorite feature on LingQ. So before we go into breakout rooms, I just wanted to ask if any of you guys have any questions about what Eric just showed you. You can either type it in the chat.
I'll answer a question here. Domin, I believe. So, okay, so you weren't able to see the last part. So, let me just see this question. Import. Okay, so let me quickly show you one more time. If I can share my screen here. Okay, so log in here. Okay, so you want to know how to edit text and audio in the lesson, I believe. So here are my lessons. First thing I need to make clear though, you cannot import content that does not have text. If it doesn't have text, it doesn't go into LingQ. Okay, so the reason why this worked, even though the text was wrong, because it had auto-generated, is because it still has text. The text is here. I just replaced the text with the correct transcript. So as I said before, you only can import text or text and audio. You can't import just audio.
Well, and sorry, just to clarify, that's with the browser extension.
Yeah.
You can import manually through that little plus in the top right corner of the screen and just import audio. No, wait, I'm sorry. No, you still have to have like text with it, but you, like for example, with this, with what Eric is showing us, he's showing how to import a YouTube video that's going to strip the audio. And even if the closed captioning is not perfect, it still needs to be there. And I think that's a big reason that people have failed imports, is that they haven't turned on the closed captioning on the YouTube video.
Yeah. And I always tell people, this is the best YouTube channel to import are YouTube channels like that have manually input closed captioning. So let me show you an example here. Okay. And you can find this in the LingQ forum. There's a huge list of all this stuff. So when you go to a channel, look for this, the CC. You can see on my screen here. Look for that, because what that means is that the YouTuber put her own transcripts or his own transcripts in. And you can prove that by going here. And it doesn't say auto-generated. Anyways, going quickly back to the question. So yeah, you can, once you import your lesson, you click these 3 dots, you click, where's my edit lesson? Am I missing something? Oh, maybe I'm zoomed out. Okay, and then you, sorry, I don't know why this is funny like this now. Maybe it's because I'm streaming. But to edit a lesson, you click on the 3 dots here. And you can also manually import, as Shelby said, by going at the top here, import lesson. I can literally just type in anything, or if you have an email that you want to put in, you can just enter here, fill out the title, and you just click save, and you can add your own audio too. So I hope that helps.
Awesome, thanks, Eric. And then we have a couple other questions here. Oscar asked, can you import podcasts to LingQ from Spotify as well?
I don't believe so. No, you can't. I've tried to I don't use Spotify myself. Maybe Shelby knows more about this. But it doesn't look like you can download the audio from Spotify, can you? I don't know. I don't use Spotify.
Yeah, I haven't used Spotify for playlists myself, but as Eric said, that's the key. You need to be able to download the audio from Spotify or from the iTunes, the Apple Podcasts app or whatever it is, to be able to then upload it. So as Eric was showing on the import screen, there's a place for you to upload your own MP3 audio file. So you just need an MP3 audio file to be able to upload it into LingQ. And so many podcasters will actually upload the audio file of the podcast on a website and even put the transcript there too. So I don't actually know that you can download directly from the podcast app either.
I don't think you can. So yeah, you would have to, you would have to go to the podcaster's home website if they have one. Sometimes podcasters, they don't upload audio to their own website, and the only way you can listen to their podcast is via Spotify or Apple iTunes. And in that case, you cannot import it into LingQ because you can't download it, and two, there's no transcript with it.
Right. And it might be on YouTube though, like Eric just showed, like he had that YouTube video, which was the podcast. And so that works just fine. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of research to make sure that you have the right content. But I find that most content creators are putting, the audio file on a website along with the transcript for the most part. But certainly there are people who don't do that.
I want to quickly show everyone just really quickly. I was talking about YouTube, and I want to show you a site where they list YouTube channels that have transcripts. So all you do, you can go to the community page on LingQ, and you can click on the best language learning sites and content to import into LingQ. There is, this is the complete guide. So this is a blog post, how to import in Netflix. Here is the resource list. So you just open this, and there are a lot of tabs in different languages. As you can see at the bottom here, I got Slovak, Belarusian, Hungarian, and I've listed a lot of resources. But this site, and I'm going to share this with everyone, Zero to Hero is really, really helpful. It is an aggregate site, so it takes all YouTube videos that have closed captioning and it organizes them by language. I highly, highly recommend everyone check this site out because you'll find something for sure that you're interested in, and you can import it into LingQ. As you can see here, this is Arabic, but there's just an amazing list here. So I'm going to share this in the chat, and I recommend everyone check it out.
Great, thank you, Eric. Great presentation. So now guys, we're gonna split you up and we're gonna put you in breakout rooms. And so in the breakout room, you will be able to talk with each other for about 20 minutes. And we want you guys to talk about your language learning journey. So, share with the people in your room what language you're studying, and how are you doing? Are you feeling confident in how you're progressing towards your goal, or are you feeling stuck? What obstacles do you have? And just be honest with each other, because if you have obstacles, it's likely that someone else is going to be able to at least relate to you on those obstacles and maybe offer you some advice too. So be open to hearing advice from each other, and actually, equally so, be open to sharing advice that you might have, even if you're not studying the same language, because we tend to have a lot of the same obstacles on our journey to fluency or language acquisition. So I'm going to create these rooms now. And like I said, in about 20 minutes, we'll bring you back here and we'll do the final Q&A. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed those breakout rooms. I hope you guys had some great discussion and that you got to connect with one another. Go ahead and use the chat and share a sentence, a word, a paragraph about what you talked about with your partners in the breakout room. And if there was anyone that you spoke to who had some really great advice or a really interesting question, please share it with us in the chat. I would love to hear who you talked to and what they said. And we have just 10 minutes left. We kind of did this in reverse order today because you guys had some interesting questions directly related to Eric's presentation. So since we spent some time on the Q&A before breakout rooms, we just have about 10 minutes left for the remaining questions today. But of course, you guys can always email me questions and we'll have another call next week if we don't have time for everything today. So Eric, we had a question from Nicholas before going into breakout rooms, kind of during your presentation for this Q&A, which is, does LingQ uphold the gold list method philosophy of a 2-week delay for long-term memory storage? If so, what's the best way to use LingQ to use it like the gold list method? Are you familiar with that language learning method, Eric?
You know, I've heard of it, but I would need a refresher. Is it like an SRS kind of?
That's kind of what I thought too. I just, I searched it while you guys were in the breakout rooms, and it's more about writing terms down. And that's pretty much it. Like writing it down, you don't have to work on memorizing it. And then coming back to it in another 2 weeks. And Nicholas, do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, the main thing that was weird to me, they said it's unintuitive, but if you look at it on day 1 and then put it out of your mind for 14 days, then your short-term memory won't get in the way by trying to review it during those 14 days, and it goes into long-term memory, which was weird because it seems like LingQ is more, and anything intuitive would be, hey, practice every day or spaced repetition for a while and get those longer intervals. So I didn't know whether to believe the philosophy or not. And then aside from that, if I wanted to try that, I was trying to find the feature in LingQ where I could say, maybe I go back 14 days or whatever. I didn't know if it was supported, if it was a good idea, and how to do it in LingQ if it was.
I think, okay, so I think yeah, you can kind of do something like that. Let me, something I don't do, but let me share my screen here and show you, I think what, but you're not writing it down. That's the thing. You can create links, and then you can, if you use the link SRS function, you can set the linked words, how well you know them. If you know them really well, it'll appear when you're doing a review, it will appear X amount of days. If you don't know them really well, it'll appear in X amount of days. Let me quickly show you what I mean by that. Okay. Let me pick a article that I have that is incredibly difficult to read for me. So I'll just go TechCrunch Japan. Okay, so now you can see there's a lot of blue words here. Now let's say I go and what is this? Okay, so I've never seen this word in my life. So I'm going to link it, right? So I find whatever definition looks good, inclined, sure. Okay, so there, I've linked the word. It's yellow. It means I don't know it, but I've seen it. It's there. Of course, when I'm comfortable with it, what I do is I just click this check mark, and it's back to, it's known. I know it. But Anyways, what you can do is, you can see this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This tells you how well you know a word. So 1 is, as you can see here, review. It's brand new. Review in 1 day because it's so new to me. I need to review it tomorrow. 2, I recognize it. Review in 3 days. 7 days. 30 days. And then obviously at the end, I know it. So you can actually, you can change the intervals of the word by clicking on this. And then it goes lighter and lighter and lighter. And then when you're done reading the article, you can review your words. You can go to lessons, vocabulary, and you can just click review. And then it will either make a flashcard, a multiple choice, guess the sentence, and things like that. So yeah, so in that case, you can actually make intervals and change how well you know a word by doing that, if that makes sense. It's something I don't personally do, but it's there for people who want a little bit more of a structure, or very more of a meticulous study method where people want to review words.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I didn't know about the hover over and the days right there and those built into those intervals. So that's good to know. Sometimes I do get a little bit burned out on flashcards or spaced repetition, so I try to find hacks or the fun trade-off to counteract that. But yeah, it's good.
Great.
Yeah, Nicholas, I don't know if you saw last week's live stream with Steve. He showed the way he just kind of goes through the list, which I hadn't thought of myself either. So I know what you mean. Sometimes flashcards can get tedious. And, with the gold list method, I've heard Steve talk about it in videos at like polyglot conferences and stuff. And it could work, since it's more about writing, it's not like we don't really have like a systemic way to do it in LingQ. But there is also the writing exchange, and that's, a way for you to submit a short piece of writing and actually have it corrected by a tutor or someone who speaks that language natively. But you could always, write lists of words if you want to, because again, there's not one specific way to use LingQ correctly, or incorrectly. So you could experiment with that too. And maybe, in a few weeks, you can tell us if it's working for you. We would love to hear the follow-up on that. All right, so we have one more question for you, Eric. Leroy asked, what's a good percentage of unknown words? And again, this is going to be subjective, but Eric, what would you say? Like how many, what percentage of unknown words would you like to see in a lesson before you decide to study it?
Good question. Probably like 10% at most.
Okay.
Unknown. If it's too much, like I'm going to go back here. I'll show you my screen. Okay, let's go to lessons here. Like the hardest lessons I read, I would say, is from this woman who does a podcast. I've done them all, so there's no unknown words, but I'm sure it's around 10%. And I find that's my max. Like here, this is 26%. So when I go in LingQ, it says 26% unknown and it's red. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me to read this. I don't want to link all the time. So 10%, 5% is the best in my opinion. 5% is like anything 5 and under is great, I think.
And that's so interesting because I think I'm like the opposite. I would go for, and I'm a beginner in French too. So there are a lot of unknown words for me. Eric's been studying Japanese for about 2 years, Eric?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
So it's going to depend on your goals. Also, Japanese is a far different language than English compared to like French compared to English, So there are different factors that come into play. And it also comes down to your preference and what your goal is. I've been choosing lessons that have 50% or 60% unknown words because I just want to study something that has more substance than like super beginner level content. So it's more challenging for me, and I read it a lot more slowly, but I like that. It's more engaging content for me. And I've heard Steve say the same thing. Like sometimes he's going for 40 to 60% unknown words because he really wants to like study the history of the culture and politics of Egypt and other Arabic speaking countries. You know, that's not beginner level content, you know, so as someone who has less experience in the language, you're going to have to face that at some point, or you can really slowly work your way up to it. And, you know, Eric is a great example of someone who prefers to be within a range where it's not going to be like, you know, just linking every single word or almost every single word in the lesson. So another subjective element of LingQ. So Eric, thank you so much for being here, for giving us the presentation and for answering some of these questions. Thanks to all of you guys too. You guys are awesome. Your engagement in the challenges shows that you guys are learning and growing, and we hope that you guys continue to do so. We're only about a month into the challenge, so we have about 2 more months to go, and that's not going to be the end of our language learning journey by any means. So keep it up. I have the information in the chat here about the forum, how you guys can connect with each other, my email address, so you guys can continue to ask me questions and submit feedback about these calls. We would love to hear it. And we'll send you guys another email later this week to let you know what we're going to do next week. So thanks again, guys, and happy linking.